Guess we have to tilt the camera down. All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Vernon Township Municipal Utility Authority meeting at 21 Church Street, Vernon, New Jersey. Today is March 17th, and we're starting at 7 o'clock. First of all, call to order. This regular meeting at the Vernon Township Municipal Utility Authority, March 17th, 2022, will now convene. The statement of compliance. Pursuant of the Open Public Meeting Act, adequate notice of this regular meeting was provided to the public and the press at December 27, 2021, by delivering to the press such notice and posting same in the municipal building and filed for the office of the MUA as well as to post on the website. If we'd all please stand and rise for the salute of the flag. I pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, please be seated. Roll call of members and professionals. Jackie?
Okay. Andrew Pritzker,
Present.
Steve McDermott,
Present.
Kristen Wheaton,
Present.
Edward Snook,
Present.
and tonight absent are Paul Carney, Scott Galway, and Ed DeYoung. For professionals, we have Don Albright, CFO and Administrator, Rich Wenner, MUA Attorney, and myself, Jacqueline McCabe, Recording Secretary.
Okay, very good. I have a proclamation to read up here, and I'd like to have the attendants who this is in reference to step up forth. I know there are only two here right now. It's John Perry and Mike Fury. If you would come up here and be on camera, you could be able to keep this as a momentum as well.
Want to wave to the camera?
You can wave to the camera if you like. There are a few other people that are on the list, but I'd like to make sure I read this for both of you as well. Whereas Michael Fury, Harry Shortway, Tom Buckney, John Perry, Edward Seeger, Angela Erickson, and Gene Murphy have honorably served the Vernon Township Municipal Utility Authority. And whereas Michael Fury, Harry Shortway, Thomas Buckney, John Perry, Ed Seeger, Angela Erickson, and Gene Murphy served as commissioners of the Vernon Township Municipal Utility Authority for several years and were active members. And whereas Michael Fury, Harry Shortway, Thomas Buckney, John Perry, Edward Seeger, Angela Erickson, and Gene Murphy are respected members of the community and the Vernon Township Municipal Utilities Authority. And whereas the chairman and the commissioners would like to honor the services of Michael Fury, Harry Shortway, Thomas Buckney, John Perry, Edward Seeger, Angela Erickson, and Gene Murphy, which was provided with the utmost professionalism and competence. Now therefore, I, Andrew Pritzker, Vice Chairman of the Vernon Township Municipal Utility Authority, do hereby recognize Michael Fury, Harry Shortway, Thomas Buckney, John Perry, Edward Seeger, Angela Erickson, and Gene Murphy for their services, dedications to the community, and wish them all the best in their future endeavors. I have a certificate here which will be signed by Paul when he comes back. But for Michael,
That's me.
thank you, sir, for your services.
Thank you very much.
And for John, thank you for
Thank
many
you.
years of
It's a pleasure.
services as well.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
I
much.
appreciate it. Thank you
So much.
again. I knew you would love the way, but you have 15 minutes of fame.
Around here, 15 seconds.
Okay, very good. All right, I'd like to open the meeting for the public for agenda items only. May I have a motion to open up?
I make the motion open.
I'll second it.
Okay, so shall we open the mics up? Raise your hands or somebody from the public you'd like to step up?
Do we need it all in favor?
No.
Excuse me?
All in
All in
favor.
favor.
I didn't hear.
Aye. Aye.
Yeah,
Yes, hello,
all in favor of opening up the meeting?
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Right now, I don't have any hands raised virtually, and I don't have anyone in attendance with their hands raised.
All right, motion to close the meeting to public for agenda items only?
Okay, well, I make a motion, we close the public session on Because nobody showed up.
Okay,
I'll second it.
all right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, move on to the next subject, approval of the bills, resolution 2219. Before we do, I'd like to have a bit of a discussion about this based on public comments from last time. I know there's been a discussion, and Rich, I need your guidance on this. It's been a discussion and request for bills list to be published for the public. And I know that the bills list that we have is basically not been approved by the commission yet. So it's basically not, hasn't been reviewed by us. So is it good practice to actually publish the bills list before we approve it, Rich? Or can we publish it afterwards?
No, I always take the position that it should be included as part of if the board is going to be acting on it as part of its regular scheduled agenda or any agenda that the board is going to be taking action on, then information relating to the action that the board will be taking under consideration should be provided. I think, the best analogy is, for example, a resolution, right? Resolutions are deliberative until they're actually acted upon. They don't become official until voted by a majority vote, but yet we provide the resolution that's to be acted on as part of the agenda for discussion. So my recommendation is to, yes, include the proposed bills list as part of the meeting packet so that if any members of the public have any questions about the items on the bills list, then they can ask those questions as well.
I know, Danelle, you have some concerns about this. Is there any way?
No, and I didn't reach out to you. I did speak with Rich about it yesterday.
Okay, you did.
Yeah.
All right. So in the future, would everybody agree on the commission that it would be a good idea to publish the bills list along with the rest of the documents?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. We did it in the past.
Okay. So if
Yeah,
we could,
I'm fine with that.
and Chris, you're okay with that?
Yes, I'm fine with that.
Okay, good. All right, so from this point on, if that's possible, Jacqueline, can we have the bills list published with each one?
Yeah, we'll figure out how we'll put it on there.
Is it also possible, like we've done on the town council, where you can actually have the bills list on the website, so it would be chronologically listed there? So they have a copy of it and they don't have to chase through the agendas for it.
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about, because it's going to have to be more of an attachment, whereas right now our resolutions are like a link to, like it's an actual page on the site versus an attachment that you would download like a PDF.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit different.
But yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you. I apologize, Chris. I didn't see you up there. I got to tilt my head up to see you. Not on my
No worries.
monitor. Yeah. Welcome. Okay. All right. So with that, let's talk about, where are we? I'd like to make a motion to approve bills list 21-19. Oh, no, I'd like to have a motion to approve the resolution 2219.
I'll make a motion to approve the bills list 2219.
I'll second it.
Okay. All in favor? Oh, Jackie, you'll have to call roll call.
Yep. Andy Pittsger,
Yes?
Dave McDermott,
Yes.
Kristen Wheaton,
Yes.
Ed Smith.
All right. I did have two questions on the bills list that I forgot to check on just real quick. The generator status, we've got 4 generators in. Where are they located right now?
They're here. They're at the DPW.
All right. So they're in storage until we get a chance to install them?
Yep, they have to build the pads now.
Perfect.
Did the transfer switches come in?
They came all together.
They can't, okay, good.
Perfect.
All right.
That was a note I meant to mention on
Yeah.
that. Okay, great. Okay, let's go to item number 8, approval of meeting minutes. The organization meeting minutes 2/17/22. Motion to approve the minutes from 2/17/21 or 22.
I'll make that motion. I'll make the motion to approve the minutes from 2/17/22.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Roll call, Jackie?
Andy Pittsger,
Yes?
Dave McDermott,
Yes.
and Ed Smith. Chris
Yes.
is not there at the meeting.
Okay. Motion to approve the executive meeting minutes 2/17/22. Do I have a motion to approve the executive meeting minutes?
Yes, I will make that motion.
Second it.
Roll call, Jackie?
Andrew Pittsger,
Yes?
Steve McDermott,
Yes,
Ed Smith.
Yes.
All right, item number 9, resolution 22-20, play to pay for the Reiner pump system.
Mr. Vice Chair, if I may just jump in, is Kristen getting called for the role?
She was not present at the last meeting.
Okay, thank you. So, okay, that would be an abstention. We're marking that as an abstain.
Thank you.
Is
for
it-
Covering that.
Rich, is it normal practice to call my name and for me to say abstain?
Yes, we want to note your vote for the record.
Okay.
Okay.
So for the record, I abstain from the
Okay.
votes on the last meeting minutes of February 17th.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kristen, please jump in and tell me if I missed something there, okay?
No worries.
All right, thank you. On the resolution 22-20, pay to play, explanation by the administrator.
Oh, sure. So it's required by the state for financial purposes that if we're going to spend over 17.5 with a specific vendor that we would pass, we would get all the pay to play documents, review them. They have to fill out financial disclosure forms, and then we're required to pass a resolution for that. I will let you know too, because we've had to buy 2 pumps this year. This will be a backup pump. And because of the amount of these pumps, we have a couple other smaller ones we're buying, some small seltzer pumps, but we might reach the bid threshold. So I've already been talking with the QPA about, I just need to keep an eye on where we're going to be and then when we can go out to bid for that kind of stuff.
And I guess when's delivery of those pumps going to be here? Because weren't they a rush?
So the first one that we had for pump station 1, how long that we were able to pick it up in a matter of days. They had it in
Yeah,
stock.
we've had it for a couple of weeks. This is just the backup.
Yeah, this is just the backup pump. So I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know I think he said he has to order it for us.
Okay.
The other one that was replaced at pump station 2, that was one that we had spare. So that's why it's important to order spare pumps like this and keep, because if they go, at least we have something for backup.
Right, because in the engineering report, we have some other issues with pumps that need to be repaired and replaced.
In the license operator report,
Yes, the operator.
the same, it's the same.
Same one.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, very good.
I have one question. The pumps that we're referring to, are they submersibles? Eddie, I figured maybe.
Down in the-
Yeah, the big ones, yeah.
What I'm thinking is, my question runs along this line, is that the maintenance in a submersible pump is more
Mhm.
difficult and it's more often in failure to do so fries the pump.
Right.
Could we replace those pumps with a pedestal style pump? And they're cheaper and they're less maintenance because the motor is out of the water. It doesn't have to be sealed. But like I said, I can't get a picture in my head of what the pump looks like that we're using.
Right. I believe the ones at pump station 2 are submersible.
Great.
And I think we've talked about with Howie, and then to speak about with Steve about the pumps that would be used for pump station, for the replacement of pump station 2.
Okay.
Yeah, and I guess that'll be something to discuss with the new design as well.
I just put,
Right. Yeah, that's why we're.
I put them in my, that's what I put in my basement. I've been using submersibles. And they're $190. Obviously, I don't need the same size or intensity of the pump that you do here. But when I replaced those pumps with pedestal pumps, the cost went down significantly and they last longer because they're not submerged in water.
But isn't that line pressurized? From the pump out, yeah.
Yeah, from the
Yeah,
pump out, it's pressurized, so the submersible might be something, the reason why they have it that way.
Wait, yeah.
That would be something for the engineers to discuss.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, very good. All right, so a motion to, where are we here? Motion to approve resolution 22-20, pay to play for Reiner Pump Systems. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay. Jackie, roll call?
Sure. Andrew Pittsger,
Yes?
Steve McDermott,
Yes.
Kristen Wheaton,
Yes.
Edward Smith.
Yes. Okay, now we have a work session here regarding new business, and this is to do with the, believe the way you put this up was about the different projects we have, the charters.
Yes, yeah, the different subcommittees that we have. I don't know if I know that Paul had wanted to address specific ones individually, but he did not speak about that with me. I mean, my recommendation, just as far as subcommittees, if you want it, I think it's important to definitely keep the finance subcommittee. We do need that for when we're going in budget discussions to kind of sort out the budget issues. I also think that it's important to have the human resources, like personnel committee. I think that that's helpful too, to keep the board still informed about things going on there. What else do we have? As far as pump station 2, I mean, pump station 2 is on its way. I can address that in my report. We have the sewer service area. Again, I can address that in my report. You know, it's ultimately up to the board if they want to keep the subcommittees, you know, how we want to go about handling different issues, or if there are other issues too that maybe the board wants a subcommittee on.
Yeah, I mean, on the website, we have 6 charters, all right? I agree that the finance committee needs to stay. There's been a lot of work and there's a lot more work to do there. Working my way up there. On the finance committee, right now we need to change. We have myself, it says Harry Shortway, so we need a new member to the finance committee. So it's something we need to address. So we want to put that on for the next meeting, or do we want to discuss if anybody's interested now in joining the finance committee?
New and love finance.
You and I mean,
I got no problem with my own finances.
all right, I think we should put that on for the next meeting.
Okay.
To discuss.
Yeah, that's-
If there is for that one.
Mhm.
The water supply subcommittee, this was started with Mike and Scott, but now that water supply has gone to the town.
Correct.
So why don't we strike that one? And review that as for the next meeting to everybody approve, that we strike that one?
Yeah,
Would
definitely.
would that be a good way of going about it?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe should be more members next meeting.
Yeah, I think so too. The bylaws personnel committee, that Dave, you and I have been on, and I think Danell, this is something, and if you would like to take in there instead of me, I have no problem relinquishing one, but this is one where it's a constant because we have part-timers and we have different laws that we need to review. So is anybody else interested? Chris, are you interested in taking on bylaws?
Possibly. I have another recommendation, which would be to evaluate providing septic pumping services for the township as a whole. As a possible revenue stream.
I like that. With the potential that we're talking about for the transfer station.
No, not for the we've done away with the idea of a transfer station, as I understand it. But just to, I mean, water quality protection is important in the township, and especially being such as having so many significant lake communities. There's no guarantees that people are pumping out their septic systems when they should be.
Yeah.
And so I think that, I mean, I know I mentioned it as a revenue stream, but it really is kind of an environmental, an item of environmental importance for our community and residents. And so I think it would be something that we might want to investigate as taking on.
Would we just shooting from the hip, would we subcontract this from the town to an independent contractor, or would we develop our own, almost like garbage, if you want to do garbage?
Yeah, I think I think the idea is that you would put out a request for bid and receive those bids and then make an award, maybe it goes to
Awarded. Yeah,
maybe it goes to more than one company because we are kind of a large township.
yeah, 64 square miles.
Is that something we would do as the authority with the sewers, or is that something the town would do on their end with the entire township?
It would have to be the township. It have to be the
No.
township. If there's any utility that's created, it's my understanding that it has to be created by the township and then given to the authority.
Okay.
But as a
So
project, Yeah.
would we, might we make that recommendation to the council and then they would decide whether or not to act on it and assign it to the authority?
Yeah. I mean, that's how it would work, right? So the board could obviously could do their own subcommittees and do the research on it. And if they wanted to have that communication with council or the township, they could obviously do that. There's nothing to prevent that.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm thinking is that we would just, we would start the research and develop the numbers on it.
we can add that as a project idea. Chris, could you help lead that next meeting?
Yeah.
And then we have the solid waste subcommittee. That's Kristen and Scott.
Yeah, I think we decided that wasn't gonna work because of the independent pickup that that neighborhoods already have and
Okay,
the private communities already have.
so we should make a motion to remove that at the next meeting when we're reviewing all of these for the bigger forum.
Well, I don't know if we have to, well, yeah, I guess it would be to remove it. It just wouldn't be renewed for
That's a
this
good
year.
point.
Yeah.
Okay,
It just wouldn't be picked for this year's list.
that's true. That's true. And then the top one we have is the transfer station, pump station 2 upgrade subcommittee. I mean, that's pretty much in motion right now.
Yes.
Any thoughts from anybody else? No? Because Paul had more on this as well, did he?
So he did ask me to send him the list and I wasn't sure what his thoughts were.
So let's keep this for discussion for that.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Any other comments from any of the other commissioners? I see none. Let's move on to the administrator's report.
Okay, regarding pump station 2, so Steve, our engineer, has reached out at least 3 times to iBank and the DEP regarding this. They originally said that they were going to have a decision as of March 4th, but we still haven't heard anything. I spoke with him again today. He reached out to them yesterday. He's going to follow up Tuesday. He went on vacation, but he's going to follow up with them Tuesday. State government. I don't know what else to say there. I am a little surprised though. They said they would have it completed by the 4th and now they're just like in the dark. I don't.
Yeah, I referenced the project timeline. I gotta go all the way to the last page now, I think. On the project timeline. What point are we talking about here? I think it's item number 9, department review. Department review of environmental planning documents. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yes.
All right, because it says there it needs to be completed by the 24th of this month.
Right. So originally, when we spoke with iBank, the last time we spoke with iBank was but right before our last meeting. And they said that they should have a decision to us by the 4th of March.
Okay,
And it's the 17th. And they haven't responded to any emails. Steve has reached out to them 3 times.
and you said you're going to reach out to him next?
I'll reach out to them.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right here in my notes. IBank is making a decision on our application. We should get an answer in a week.
Mm-hmm.
That was at the 2/17 meeting.
So again, we're waiting on the DEP here.
iBank/DEP, yes.
Yeah, iBank/DEP. Okay.
Speaking of the DEP, so the sewer service area mapping, I did send all the members the emails, the exchange that I had with Paul DeMuro at the DEP regarding that issue. I sent him additional emails after talking with the township planner and the town center planning, and she reached out to Matt Blake at the State Planning Commission, who clarified everything, which is exactly what I had said from the beginning, and I sent it to Paul and I haven't heard anything, so. I'll be reaching out again tomorrow because I'm not gonna let this go. I think it's a fairly clear that with the state designated town center, and it's been approved by the State Planning Commission that that town center becomes our sewer service area, and it's very clear in their regulations. So I don't really know what the problem is, but regarding the transfer station, so we did hold a meeting with Wind River, Mountain Creek, and Dewberry. The initial talks on the topic began the summer of 2020, and obviously it was, thrown around the idea for a few years prior to that, but that was the first time we really sat down with Mountain Creek and Wind River. Back in 2020, we visited Pump Station 2, where the new pump station would be, where we consider putting a transfer station in. We did put that obviously to the side, we've talked about in the past because of the permitting issues. And when Steve had reached out to the DEP originally regarding this, they did express concern regarding the type of material being taken to the transfer station. So their stance is it septage or is it sewage? Also the location where the material would be taken from. So they had concerns about if any material came from outside of the upper Wallkill. And they also stated that they preferred a regional facility to prevent nuisance odors on site at smaller locations. So those were their three issues. They did not say it was a no. They didn't say don't do it, but those were their concerns. Wind River did explain that the wastewater would be pre-treated prior to entering the system in the same manner that, so right now, for example, pool water is not allowed to be discharged into our system. However, as you know, like the areas that discharge into the system do have pools. So those pools are all treated, all that water is treated before entering into the sewer system. So that is equivalent to sewage, sewer water and not pool water, chlorinated water. So they would be pre-treating all of the material to be transferred there anyway, so that it would go into the system as typical sewer water. SCUMA, just to give you a couple of points here, SCUMA would obviously need to approve the application. Wind River is sending about 7 to 8 million gallons per year to SCUMA. So a large portion of that would be coming to Vernon and not, they would not have to travel all the way to SCUMA. However, there are still items that we would not be able to take here that they would still send to SCUMA. And obviously, if they were closer to SCUMA, they would take it to SCUMA. The positive thing here for the transfer station is that the idea would be to install grease trap treatment infrastructure so that they could treat it here at the transfer station and then put it into the sewer, where right now SCUMA does not have that treatment ability. So they have to take it outside of Vernon or outside of the upper Wallkill region. So the plus there is that it would allow the water that's currently being brought outside of the upper Wallkill region to then stay and then be discharged back into Vernon. Whereas like right now, anything that has a grease trap, like all of that has to be taken outside.
Yeah, we went through that with the VFW. They had to install a grease trap.
Updates on capital items. Obviously, you can see the attached. We've had to order a couple extra pumps. And yes, and so two things. One, the Muffin Monster has not arrived yet. It was supposed to arrive and it was shipped, and then they turned it around and sent it back because they realized they were shipping us the wrong one. So they caught it mid-transit and sent it back. So hopefully we'll be receiving the correct one soon. They were actually really good last time, so I think this was just like a fluke incident. We just passed the resolution tonight, so we'll be able to order that additional pump. And like I said, if we start reaching that bid threshold, we'll have to go out to bid for those items. I called around to a couple other towns and there's nothing on state contract or co-op you would think that there would be, but there's no pumps that are on like state contract or co-op. So most towns go out to bid for them.
Really?
Yeah. And we called MAWA because they have a big sewer system and they were like, no, we have to go out to bid for it. So.
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder here from a network, if one of us has to have a backup pump someplace around, if, something locks up here.
Yeah, that would depend on if they're using the same type of pump though.
Right.
This is true.
Well, and some, right, depending on the sewers, we have a smaller system, right? We have 3 pump stations. If we wanted a higher quality pump and we don't want to replace it as often, we might spend more money on it, right? If we wanted a lower quality pump and we had 15 pump stations, maybe we'll take the one that's less expensive. It depends, I think, on how you operate your sewers, so.
Yeah, but I mean, pump lines, they have some standards there, so you can't fit
Could we
different.
reach out though to the other towns that do have pumps, Hamburg, Franklin, and see what type of pumps they have, if they're similar to ours?
Yeah, we could do that.
I mean, and
We could have a
we
co-op.
could be.
I mean, there's only-
them as well as us, but well, yeah, you could open a co-op. You could have, even if you don't buy it, you could have a bid for one. So it's already bid.
I mean, ultimately, it's about going out to bid anyway, so.
You still got to go out for bid, and that's a state mandate anyway. But I like this
It'd be
idea.
nice to have a bid that's, you got more than one town, one sewer
Almost
district.
like the police cars.
Yeah.
You get a bunch of towns together or at the state level. The state puts a bid in to whatever the manufacturer is.
You don't want to.
And you get a.
You don't want to know my opinion on state vehicles. They're made for highways. You put them in Vernon on hills and they don't work.
Well, what you do is you make them.
You go to the county and piggyback off theirs. They buy trucks that's for these hills.
Yeah. But at least where there is depth and where there's volume, there is buying power. And so the more you can cut down on your expenses, if you can expand your bid or your purchase,
Mhm.
then you get a better price. Usually anyhow,
Mm.
unless somebody's extorting you.
Yeah, but going back to what you said here, as far as maybe taking a canvas of the location, say, are we all using the same pump or a similar pump, say with a 6-inch line?
I mean, I will say too, like, I think that's a really good idea and we are going to do that. I will say that there are a limited number of suppliers as well,
Yeah, there are. But if one of us, let's just say, for instance, we have a spare pump and Hamburg needs one. You call us and say, yeah, well, let's get the other one ordered and we'll take the new one, you take this one. But if they're running similar pumps, that's a really good idea to think about how we could do that.
Yeah.
Something we can, maybe that's a project.
Okay.
Charter.
I'll talk to the QPA about it.
Okay.
Also, so there was a change in the quote requirements for what's considered public works contracts back in November of last year. So I'm working with the QPA to determine if we need to go out to bid on the renovation of Section 3. So because of those changes, there are certain requirements for prevailing wage quotes. The two that we had got, we'd reached out to a couple of companies and we only got 2 responses for quotes. But because would be considered a public works contract, we now need prevailing wage. So, and registration, state registrations that maybe some of these smaller companies don't have. So we do have a list on the state's websites for those registrations. It tells you some companies that we can find locally that have those certifications. So we might just reach out to that, but I don't know what kind of quotes we're going to get. So we might have to go out to bid. So for finance, delinquent letters went out to customers this week. With regards to delinquent letters, I received the local finance notice. I believe it was the meeting. I don't remember if it was the last meeting or the meeting before, but there was recently a law enacted. It's been with COVID relief, they had extended it just to water customers, but they decided to make it sewer customers finally. So the recent law extends the grace period for all of our residential 2021 sewer fees all the way to March 15th of this year. So anyone that is not paid January 1st, 2021 until March 15th of 2022, if they are delinquent, they will receive this notice from us. It I'm sorry, just real quick. So when we were first notified of the law going into effect, we did get a notice saying that this law was going into effect. But the local finance notice which dictates how we handle that, hadn't come out yet. I only just got it last week. So we did notify the ratepayers by posting on our website. I also mentioned it in the meeting. Information has been on the website. It'll remain on the website. The local finance notice did inform the utilities are now required to send individual written notifications, so we can't just post it on our website. So those should be going out tomorrow or Monday. There's a lot of them. And this will be for residential ratepayers who are delinquent through March 15th. The notification explains the opportunity that these residential ratepayers have to enter into a payment plan of no less than 12 months, unless that individual chooses to do less than 12 months.
Now, that's posted on the website, or it will be
It is posted on the website.
on the Vernon?
Anyway, on the Vernon Anyway website.
All right, and where would that be?
I think it's on the home. Isn't there a link on the homepage?
There was for the initial.
Is that on there now?
Yeah, we have to put it back on.
Okay.
So that, is it going to
It
be
was, so
under,
that it was initially, but it's not on the,
Because
I didn't check into
there
it.
was an initial cutoff date at first until we got the letter.
all right, so what page is it going to be on? The first page, which is about,
I'll
on
put a notice on the front page, on the first page.
Mhm.
first page being about?
The homepage,
The
there was like
homepage.
an exclamation point with the information there. She'll put it back up.
Okay, so it'll be right in this area here. Okay, great.
And everyone will get that individual letter to their homes.
So the full explanation, so we can explain it, if somebody asks us, should be here as well.
Yes,
All right, and that's for delinquent.
those are for delinquents through March 15th.
Okay,
And just to let you know, the amounts owed are not subject to late fees or interest prior to March 15th.
all right, and you're sending all those out by the end of this week or by Monday?
Yes, Friday,
Yes.
it'll either go out tomorrow or Friday,
Great.
or a combination of the two.
I'm down to like this much.
Also, we did already begin updating the list of the customers with billing issues for EDU counts.
Mhm.
We should be able to finish the first batch tomorrow. We'll be going out. I'm just letting you know, it is very tedious, so it will take a long time, but we do plan on having those done before June 1st.
And so June 1st, we will have all the billing issue subjective people, their notifications will go out
Yes.
regarding that. Do we need to make this public in any other way?
I mean, look at, what are you asking me?
I don't know when we need to post this otherwise on the website or,
No, if people, so everyone will receive a letter explaining exactly what happened. So if someone was originally billed for 0.6 EDUs for a 1 bedroom, but it turns out that they have a 2 bedroom or 3 bedroom, it explains, you know, you were originally billed for this much. This was the number of EDUs you were billed for. However, you have a 3 bedroom. This is the number of EDUs you should be billed for. This is the difference in your annual bill for 2022.
right? And just for the public's information here is what happens that during an audit, we basically was found by the administrator and assistant that there were some billing errors that were quite substantial. So we needed to address them and reassess them and make sure that these people, residents who have these billing issues, that we resolve them as effectively as we can and do it as efficiently as we can.
And just to clarify, Mr. Chairman, those billing errors go back to the origin of the MUA.
That's true. As far as Rich, if we can confirm that, Danelle, most of those, most of these are from the origin of when the MUA started and have never been resolved until we have found them through an audit just recently. Thank you, Christian, for bringing that up. That's a good point. Okay.
And that's it, but Howie's not here, so I have a little bit for Howie's report.
Okay.
His operator report. The lift stations are running well, because they input those, I know he spoke about this before, but since installing those screens last year, they haven't had as many call outs there at all. I mean, those are basically zero. The call outs you usually get are mostly electrical at one of the pump stations, and it's usually during a storm or after a storm or something at a pump where the pump didn't work. We did have issues at pump station 1, which Howie detailed in his report. And we discussed it a little bit the last meeting. We got the pump replaced and we're waiting on the Muffin Monster, which I already spoke about. Pump station 2 just had a pump replaced as well. As that one there failed. We approved the resolution tonight for the backup pump for pump station 1, but that pump can also be used at pump station 3. So we are making an effort to make sure that our pumps at least match, so that if one goes down, we don't have to buy 4 different kinds of pumps to replace them. And I think that's it.
Sensiphone
Yeah.
tripping the breaker, they've resolved that issue.
Yes.
Causing that, just a short. It's hokey. Okay. So those systems have really been valuable for us
Yes.
to be addressed.
Current does Sensiphone take?
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
What's the current?
Well, how much current does a Sensiphone take?
Oh, I don't know.
Like minuscule, right?
12 volt, 6 volt.
Thank-
12 volts,
It's a
okay.
telephone, it's a telephone system.
Yeah.
That is beyond my knowledge. I have no idea.
Breaker. Yeah.
Maybe something to ask Howie about.
That's it.
Okay,
I hear. So I guess we can move on to open public again.
so I'd like to make a motion to open to the public for items that are not on agenda.
I'll make that motion. Open the public for non-agenda items.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Kristen. Okay, the mic is open for anybody who would like to.
All in favor?
All in
All in
favor?
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, let's open up the mics.
Okay, I have Peg Gustasi.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for letting me speak. First, I would like to thank the entire committee for listening to the public and putting the bills on the agenda. That's a great move, and I appreciate your hearing it. Second, I would like to thank Donnell for her excellent email this week explaining to me the questions I had asked, and appreciate that she took the time to do that. I'm listening to the idea about the pumping, and ironically, the Environmental Commission, which I am a member of, has been working on this idea for the last 6 months. We are meeting again on 3/22, and I will definitely bring it up at our meeting. And I am sure that they will support this concept. We've been looking at it from an environmental aspect of protecting our lakes and also replacing the aquifer levels, which have been low, which are on the low side. So I think if we coordinate and we all approach this, it can benefit everybody, not only environmentally, but the municipal authority as well. So I am sure that we can support this. I will bring it up at our next meeting. And if you need anything from us, please contact us. We're more than willing to work with you on this. Thank you and good meeting. Good night.
Thank you, Mr. Stasi.
Excuse me, Peg. Just to clarify, when you said pumping, you're referring to the pumping of septics. Is my understanding?
Yes, I'm sorry. I should have clarified that. Yes.
Okay.
The pumping, your concept about pumping the septics. Yes.
Okay. And do you know when is the next environmental commission meeting?
It's Tuesday. And if you would like, the information is on the website. If you would like to attend, it is a Zoom meeting.
Okay.
Tuesday,
Thank
the
you.
22nd. You're
Got it.
welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Peg Stasi.
You're welcome.
Anybody else from the public?
Yes, I have Jesse Palladini.
Jesse Palladini, welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. I just want to clarify that the bills have always been on the agenda for years and years. Peg must mean that you added them for the public to see? Yes?
Yes,
Oh, okay, good. Thank you. Clarification. People were charged wrong for however many years, they were overcharged or undercharged?
Would you like to
Let
answer?
me take that, that's it. There are a combination of the two.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, I'm sure the undercharged people will love that. Are they going to be charged for back amounts? No, right?
No,
Okay, so it'll be like moving forward. And you discovered this by an audit?
not an official audit. We had, yes, I had a reason to pull the list from the assessor and compare the assessor's list to our listing.
Okay. Oh, very good. All right, thank you very much. That's all I have.
Thank you very much, Jesse.
Okay.
Anybody else?
That is all I have.
Anybody from the public sitting here?
Surprising, but I have nothing to say.
Okay, good. Right. I'd like to make a motion then to close the sessions for public comment.
I'll make that motion. We close the session to public comment.
I'll second it.
Okay, roll call. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, now we have an executive session we need to go to, and Rich, I'll need some help, but we have resolution 2205 for purposes of litigation. A motion to approve resolution 22-21 and enter the
Not
executive
litigation.
session.
Sorry.
It's not litigation, it's
It's
personnel.
personnel, not litigation.
Personnel. And so the matter is personnel, Mr. Vice Chair, and action will be taken or is expected to be taken upon the resumption of open session.
Okay, very good, thank you. So from there, move into, will be taken upon convening then, correct? Rich?
Correct, that's correct. And honestly, the executive session should be, I always jinx myself, but no more than, I would say, 4 minutes.
Okay, good. All right, so make a motion to move into session.
I make a motion to move into executive session.
I'll second motion.
All in favor? Or do you have to take a roll call? Take a roll call.
Andrew Pittsger,
Yes?
Dave McDermott,
Yes.
Kristen Wheaton,
Yes.
Edward Snook.
Yes.
I'm just waiting for Kristen.
All set?
We're just waiting for Kristen. There she is. We're good.
We're safe. Yep.
All right, Rich, if you would take us through the process, please.
We need a motion to reconvene.
Motion to reconvene into regular, motion to reconvene.
I will make a motion to reconvene into public session.
Second.
All in favor? You have to
I'm
take a-
sorry. It's not public session. It's the regular meeting.
Yes.
Right, motion, you said public session, so moving to regular
I'm
meeting.
thinking I stay. Yeah.
Thank you, Kristen.
Sure.
Jackie, take a roll.
Yep. Andrew Pittsger,
Yes?
Dave McDermott,
Yes.
Kristen Wheaton,
Yes.
Edward Snook.
Yes.
All right, thank you. We were in executive session for approximately maybe 5 minutes, during which time we discussed one matter regarding personnel. No action was taken in an executive session, but at this time I will entertain two motions. The first motion is a motion authorizing the noticing of a special meeting for personnel matters executive to be held on March 22nd at 10 a.m. via Zoom.
You're asking for a motion, Rich?
Yes, that's the first motion.
I'll make that motion.
Second that?
Do I have
I'll
to
second it.
take a roll call?
Yeah. Roll call.
Okay. Roll call, Andrew Pittsger,
Yes?
Dave McDermott,
Yes.
Kristen Wheaton,
Yes.
Edward Snook.
Yes.
Thank you. And then the second motion is a motion authorizing the action discussed in executive session regarding a rice notice.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Andrew Pittsger,
Yes?
Dave McDermott,
Yes.
Kristen Wheaton,
Yes.
Edward Snook.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Vice Chair.
Hey, very good. So now do we need to exit out of the executive session or we've done that now?
You've done that. No, you've done that. If there's no further business, you can adjourn or continue to carry on.
Okay, we're going to go on to item 17 now, chairman's comments. Kristen, how about you, the commissioner's comments, how about you share yours? Anything?
I don't have any comments this evening.
Okay, very good. Mr. Snook,
Not this evening.
not this evening?
No, I'm good.
Okay, very good. I guess my comments are to basically to Jacqueline and to Danelle. There's been a lot of work that you've been doing behind the scenes with getting these billing things right, the new requirements for the delinquents. And I know there's a lot of time and effort and double checking and triple checking, and appreciate all the work that you guys have been doing. So my hat's off to you, and you have our full support from the MUA. So thank you again. And that is my commissioner's comments, chairman's comments for the evening.
Thank you.
Okay,
Here, here.
I have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Have a good night, all.
Thank you
Good
very
evening.
much. Have a great night.
Kristen.
Good night, Chris.